All right, last one. Nick.
Hey guys, just listened to the most recent episode about the most influential person in Jiu Jitsu's history, and I wanted to offer the idea that potentially Count Koma or Mitsuyo Maeda is technically potentially the most influential person in Jiu Jitsu's history because without him teaching the Gracies in the first place, there may have never actually been another opportunity for them to learn Judo to then develop Jiu Jitsu. And then because of that, considering that Count Koma himself was taught by Jigoro Kano, technically isn't then Jigoro Kano the most influential person in Jiu-Jitsu's history? Thanks. Love the stuff. Keep it up.
Nick, legend.
Wow, good point. I can't disagree with most of those points. All I'd say is like my limited understanding of judo history and stuff like that, that originally jiu-jitsu was what was practiced by the samurai. As in hand-to-hand combat, which like when you didn't have a weapon. And so from my limited understanding, it sounds like you have quite an in-depth understanding of martial arts history, that jiu-jitsu actually came before judo. And judo was an art which was cultivated post-samurai era to make it more civilized. And at a critical point, jiu-jitsu was actually banned and wasn't allowed to be taught because the shogun were kind of running rampant and trying to get power, and they were trying to shut it down. So, I mean, I don't know who the teacher was to Jigoro Kano, but yeah, we could go right back, you know.
Well, this is where I find that proposition a tricky one because, well, wouldn't it be Jigoro Kano's mother? You know what I mean?
But did she teach him the martial art?
So here's where I think we have to make a definition. Is it influential, the most influential figure, or the most pivotal?
Right.
Because in that way, you could say, yes, Count Koma was maybe the most pivotal because he brought jiu-jitsu to Brazil, which is the spark that grew into Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Whereas your proposition that Uncle Dana is the most influential is that he has actually put it into the face of the most amount of people.
Yeah.
Now, I personally think that that's Joe Rogan, but do you know what I mean? And I think there's a difference between pivotal and influential there.
Yeah, definitely. And look, we left out a lot of people. People got mad. People like, how about? Yeah, in the comments, man. People like, how about Rorion Gracie? He was the true guy to bring jiu-jitsu to America. It's like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, fully respect to all of the people who broke ground and really put jiu-jitsu out into the world, for sure. There are a lot of significant people in jiu-jitsu who didn't get mentioned. Part of the reason why that was because oftentimes the tipping point in the popularity of a given thing isn't always obvious. You know, like... And
well, yeah, we weren't trying to list out all of the most influential people in jiu-jitsu. You were trying to get to who is the one. So of course, there's going to be a bunch of names that weren't mentioned.
That get left. All I'd say with that is that what we can't underestimate is the Gracies never would have been heard of if Hoist didn't go in the early UFCs. So obviously Dana was not involved with the UFC at that time. But if he didn't have that platform, who would have had that Hoist Gracie moment? Fucking no one.
So what are you saying then? It is Rorion?
No. But what I'm saying is like what jiu-jitsu people and jiu-jitsu purists hate to admit is that without MMA, jiu-jitsu would not be as popular as it is.
Right.
And that we would not have the growth in the sport that we do. And it would be... And here's the thing a lot of people don't realize. Taekwondo, even though it's not so popular, is far more popular worldwide. There's like 110 million people worldwide who do Taekwondo. There's only about 15 million people who do Jiu-Jitsu. We're still very niche, but because of the popularity of MMA and how it is, Jiu-Jitsu gets a lot of shine, and that's why people are trying it and talking about it. And I would say if we never got exposed to MMA in the form of the UFC and all of that, it would just still be some obscure martial art that no one gives a shit about. So... yeah, we can go well down the tree and look at the forefathers of the art, but I think you could definitely say without that media exposure, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Nick, thank you for the question, bro.
But do appreciate the thinking.
Guys, if you want to leave us a voicemail, go to bulletproofofbjj.com, click podcast tab, and then you just scroll down. You can record one for us, and we'll feature you on next week's Q&A. Catch you next time.
Thank you, guys.